Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The one and only Sydney Sweeney joins us. Sydney, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Tom Hanks and Robin Wright in my favorite movie of the year. Guys, thanks so much for joining the show.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
One of my all-time favorites, Vince Vaughn, joins us right now. Vince, thanks, man.
Oh, great to be with you, Brad, and great to be talking to Houston. Good morning to you.
We got Owen Wilson. We got Judy Greer. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thank you.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
We got Anna Sawai joining the show. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brad.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny, lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Paris Hilton, the infinite icon herself, is on the show. Paris, love the film.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Every day in the city of Houston, lives can change at an instant. A distracted driver, a missed stop sign, a crash that leaves families with injuries, medical bills, and questions. That's why today we are going to shine the spotlight on Houston personal injury lawyer James Walker as he tells you everything you should do if you were to get into an accident and everything you should do if you've already been in one. This is Legally Speaking. Well, good morning, Houston, and welcome to Legally Speaking. I'm Brad Gilmore. Houston is one of the largest cities in the United States, and with that comes a lot of traffic and, unfortunately, a lot of accidents. According to the Texas Department of Transportation, there are hundreds of thousands of motor vehicle crashes reported statewide every year, including tens of thousands right here in the Houston area. Many of those accidents result in injuries ranging from minor to catastrophic, and navigating the insurance companies is never easy, and it's certainly something you do not want to handle alone. That's why my guest today is someone that many of you already know. He's been practicing law for more than 40 years right here in Houston, helping injured Texans rebuild their lives. You know him as Walker, Texas Lawyer. I know him as James Walker. Mr. Walker, thank you for joining us on Legally Speaking.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Brad.
Well, you know, we were talking about all the things that go on in this city in terms of motor vehicle accidents, and they happen every single day. Obviously, your office is always filled with and flooded with thousands of phone calls every year regarding people who are going through those things. I mean, talk to me about what is going on in the city of Houston that's causing so many accidents.
Well, there's been a lot of changes in Houston since I came here in 1983. Traffic has grown crazy. I think maybe more than 500,000 new people are in Texas, Houston now. And there's been a lot of changes. Technology changes, such as cell phones.
Right.
Which are not a blessing to drivers.
No.
Cell phones are a big distraction to people driving. People try to talk and drive. People try to text and drive. I don't know. I mean, they've got to be able to figure out something else to do and drive, but they should concentrate on the driving. It's very distracting. I can't tell you how many times I've been like the second or third person in traffic sitting at a red light, and the car in front of me, it just sits, and by the time somebody blows their horn, they look up from their cell phone and take off, and then you have to sit through the light again. Well, it's irritating, but it's also dangerous because those same people are doing this and driving at the same time. And it's major cause of accidents.
Yeah, absolutely.
Major cause of accidents. In addition to that, apparently marijuana is legal now, I guess. It's not part of the law I follow, but you know, there's a lot of folks out there smoking pot and driving too.
Sure.
And you can pull up to any intersection and roll your window down, and you can smell it. So I don't think it's a wise move to smoke pot and drive, but drinking and driving is just as bad. But I mean, smoking pot is, I don't know how people drive and do that. You know, just pass on the party, dude. Just, you know, stay home and smoke it.
Well, you've always said over the years, you know, when I've heard you in interviews such as this, you always say, you know, the great motto is to arrive alive, wherever you're going on your destination.
Exactly, and do whatever it takes to do that. There are families out there on the road, and things are even more complicated now because, you know, Houston is a very diverse city.
Sure.
And we have a lot of people from different places in the world, and not all of them are very good drivers. And some of them are driving without insurance and without a license.
Right.
I mean, there are 18-wheeler accidents all day long, every day, all over the country with drivers who just really shouldn't be driving a truck. And it's very dangerous. A lot of families have been totally wiped out by these 18-wheeler accidents. So you have to be cautious and alert all the time. It's not that you're a bad driver. Everybody else is, you know?
Well, and that's an interesting point that you bring up because, you know, before we started today, I was talking to some people around the station and asking them, you know, just, hey, are you fully covered? Do you have all your insurance? And they all say, oh, I have full coverage. I have full coverage. Yeah. But most of the time people say that, but they don't really have full coverage.
They don't realize what full coverage really is. I mean, when the insurance people tell you full coverage is liability and collision, which is just wonderful. That takes care of the other guy in case you run into him. But how about you? I think it's important for people to carry coverage that protects them as well, and it costs just about that much more. It's liability and collision is the most expensive part of the insurance policy. Underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage, along with PIP, personal injury protection coverage, can be a lifesaver if you're in a serious accident because it covers you above and beyond the $30,000 policy limits that we have. And I think almost anybody will tell you today, medical expenses can be $30,000 very quickly. So if you're seriously injured in an accident, 30 grand is not going to go that far. Having uninsured motorist coverage, underinsured motorist coverage will help a lot. And PIP will help immediately bridge the gap if you're out of work for a while.
And you're not just saying this as someone who doesn't have the experience in it. You've had experience, obviously, in your professional life, but also in your personal life. You had
exactly. I've been in 2 accidents, and both times, no driver's license, no insurance. And I would have just been out of luck. And one of the accidents was very serious.
Your vehicle was completely totaled, right?
Yeah. 6,000-pound truck.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you didn't have, and that's what you're saying, if you didn't have this kind of coverage, they'd only cost, because I talked to my insurance provider, they said, oh, it costs about $5, $6 more a month in your premium.
Yes.
So a couple of Red Bulls or a cup of coffee from Starbucks, and you could protect yourself.
You can protect yourself for the price of a Red Bull, and you'll be very happy you did if you're in a bad wreck. You know, this is particularly true for bikers, because vehicle versus bike, the bike always loses. And medic bills, I've had a lot of biker cases. I can't tell you how many times they climb into the hundreds of thousands. Because when you get hit by a truck on a bike, it's lights out. And if you don't have underinsured motorist coverage, you're crazy. Don't ride a bike without underinsured motorist coverage, and don't ride without me. Walker, Texas lawyer, the biker lawyer.
Right, absolutely, and you've done so much for the biker community.
A lot of
years.
biker cases.
Yeah, so we're going to talk more about the insurance coverages you should have, and we're also going to take your questions that you've submitted to Mr. Walker. That's coming up on Legally Speaking.
When you've been injured in a wreck, there's only one thing to do. Call Walker, Texas lawyer. With 40 years of experience, I'll get you the money you deserve. Don't be a victim twice. Call me at 713-552-1117 or visit my website at walkertexaslawyer.com. Why would you call anyone else?
Can you dig it, sucker?
Paid monetary spokesperson for Walker, Texas lawyer.
Hey, what's up? This Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, and I've been crushing opponents in the ring for over 30 years. But Walker, he's been crushing insurance companies for over 40. Hey, if you need some help, call Walker. Now, can you dig that?
If you've been injured in an accident, put 40 years of experience on your side and call Walker Texas Lawyer today.
Well, welcome back to Legally Speaking. We are here with James Walker of Walker Texas Lawyer, who's helped more than 30,000 people in situations involving motor vehicle accidents and injuries. Mr. Walker, we've actually collected some questions from our viewing audience that they've submitted in that we'd love to run through them with you. Our first one comes from Brendan, and Brendan wants to know, he says, I recently was in a car accident, and when the police arrived at the scene, they asked if I was hurt. I said no because I felt okay at the time. But a few days later, I started feeling aches and pains, and I thought it was too late to seek any treatment. What should I have done in this situation?
You should have said you were injured.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's just a really minor little fender bender with little or no damage, you're going to feel the effects of that accident within a day or two, sometimes even 3 days. But I can't tell you how many hundreds, even thousands of clients I've had that thought they were okay at the scene of the accident, and 2 or 3 days later, they couldn't get out of bed, they couldn't walk, it was horrible. And they went to the emergency room, and they said, well, yeah, I was in an accident 2 days ago, and you know, it happens quite often. So err on the side of benefiting yourself by saying, if you're hurt, say so. If you're not, fine, but you better not take too long, because if you wait 2 or 3 weeks and try to be a football hero, you're just going to ruin your case.
Well, because the insurance companies would say, oh, well, how come you didn't go to the doctor if you were hurt?
The first thing they say is, why did it take a week to go to the doctor? And I said, well, you know, I was in a very bad accident, and it took me at least a week to go to the doctor because I didn't want to mess with it. But it didn't get better, so I had to go. And I think the same thing happened with this case, you know?
Well, I mean, and the thing is, too, is you might not feel it at the time, but like you said, you wake up a week later, maybe, because I think sometimes people think, oh, if I'm injured, I broke a bone, my arm, my leg, my neck, or what have you. But if soft tissue injuries, you see all the time in your office, and those can be just as devastating as a broken bone.
Well, sometimes even worse, because you can set a bone, but muscles and tissue takes a long time to heal. Most of your body's soft tissue. So it doesn't have to be gory and blood and guts kind of thing to be hurt. And you know, especially in rear end collisions or side collisions, it's, you know, the adrenaline from the accident and the excitement of what's going on and the lights and all the craziness, sometimes it wears off a day or two later and you're going, wow, did I get hit by a bus or what?
Right.
Exactly.
Right, I mean, and you just never know. So it's always best to err on the side of caution.
Absolutely.
If you're involved in an accident. And, I mean, if you have medical insurance, you go to see your doctor just to get a checkup at the very least.
That's why we have insurance.
Right, yeah.
Don't be afraid to use it.
Don't be afraid to use it. That's what we have it for. Our next question comes from Jacqueline. Jacqueline says, I was involved in a car accident and didn't think that I needed to call the police because the other driver admitted that they were at fault on the scene. Later, they changed their story, and now liability is being questioned. Where did I go wrong?
Well, again, I can tell you I've seen that a few hundred or thousand times.
Right.
People act differently when they get home and they realize, oh man, my rates could go up. I better say, oh, I didn't admit to anything. Oh, it's not my fault. People change their minds after the accident. But it's kind of difficult to change your mind when the police officer's standing there and he says, what happened here? Well, I didn't stop for the stop sign. Okay, well, I'm giving you a citation. And it's important to have that because insurance companies will fight these claims. They do all the time. They're not in the business of handing out money. So, you know, you have to fight for every dime you get from an insurance company. So make sure you have something that says this was your accident, not I didn't cause this, you did.
But in one of these cases, and if you were handling Jacqueline's case, for instance, helping determine liability is also something that a lawyer, a personal injury lawyer, can help do through all kinds of different means, right?
Well, when you get a lawyer, when you call me, the first thing I'll do is listen to the facts. And then, of course, we would try to get the police report immediately. And if there's no citations issued and nobody's taken fault, other than the guy saying, I did it, it's my fault, you go back over how the accident happened, and it becomes very clear that, who's at fault. And you also have the threat of the lawsuit.
Right, yeah.
You file a lawsuit, you go through a discovery process with depositions and interrogatories, and lying in a deposition, not a good idea. So the truth will eventually come out. And it's very costly when the truth comes out after a lawsuit's filed. So insurance companies also have their way of digging into things because they'll call their insured, and usually they fess up. And if they don't, I'll get them to fess up for you.
Well, but it's important too, especially when it comes to all these kinds of cases, because I think we live in a day and age, you were talking about cell phone technology in the last segment, where people are very quick to also post about an accident or something that they may have had on Instagram or Facebook. Probably not a good idea to do things like that as well, right?
You need to keep your personal business to yourself. And going on Facebook and going on social media with so many things can be very detrimental to a personal injury claim. It can be very detrimental to a person.
Yeah, just in general, yeah.
You need to just keep stuff to yourself sometimes. You don't have to expose everything in your life.
Right, 100%. We'll go to our final question from this one, and this comes from Marshall. And Marshall says, I was injured in an accident and my doctor took me off work for a few weeks, but I couldn't afford to miss time because I have bills to pay. Can lost wages be recovered in a personal injury settlement?
Absolutely. One of the elements of damages would be lost wages. However, if you're going to have lost wages, you actually have to be off work. So if the doctor takes you off work, listen to what the doctor said, because you could make your problem worse, and your injury could go on longer. If you don't listen to the doc, you have problems. So there's ways of covering that stuff, and you'll get your money back in lost wages in the case, because that'll be one of your elements of damage, along with pain and suffering, mental anguish, loss of consortium. One of the elements of damages too that's quite often overlooked is I hate to use the term housewife, but that's a big deal. I mean,
absolutely.
Taking care of a home, taking care of children, and maintaining the responsibility that goes with that. If you're unable to do that, that's a big loss. And quite often you have to get help with it, and letting your family down because you can't do these things. And I know people try their best to keep up after they've been hurt, but that's another element of damages that we always look into.
So these are things that your office, whenever making a settlement claim with the insurance company, you take not just the injuries into consideration, but all factors in relation to the accident.
We flip over every rock. We'll find everything that we can find to have you compensated for.
So to recap, if you're in an accident, it's best to get checked out no matter what, to be sure you're okay. Always call the police at the scene of an accident, especially in terms of establishing liability. And if a doctor takes you off work, it's probably for a reason, and you can maybe get that money back in a settlement.
Absolutely. All three. Yes,
all three.
Yes.
Well, you know what? We've talked about them all show, but it's time in our next segment here on Legally Speaking to get to know Mr. Walker a little bit better. That is after the break.
Hello, I'm Jim Walker at WalkerTexasLawyer.com. I've spent most of my life representing the people of Houston and people all around the state of Texas for car, truck, and motorcycle wrecks, as well as industrial accidents and plant explosions. If you've been injured, call me. I'm at 713-552-1117 or visit my website at WalkerTexasLawyer.com. Why would you call anyone else?
The accident happened in a flash. Didn't see the other driver running the red light. And when we came to, the car was smoky from the airbag deploying. And we didn't know where to even begin. And we knew we were in pain afterwards. And I mean, just didn't know what that process would look like. We were referred to Mr. Walker, and he really just helped guide us through the entire experience from start to finish and made it as easy as possible. I imagine if we wouldn't have had him, it would have been a nightmare to try to navigate this system. Anytime we called, if we ever needed Mr. Walker, he was always available. So not only were we feeling better, we had everything with our car taken care of and really walked away with money in our pocket as well. I'd highly recommend working with Mr. Walker. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, they're definitely the people to call.
Back to Legally Speaking with Walker, Texas lawyer James Walker here. Mr. Walker, you've given us so much information on what kind of insurance coverages we need to do. If we're in an accident, what our immediate steps might need to be. But I'd like to know a little bit more about you, because you've been practicing law here in Houston since the 1980s. You're an Alabama, born in Alabama, attended law school in Michigan, practiced in Florida before coming here. What made you want to become an attorney in the first place?
Well, you know, I also wanted to be an architect too, but a museum curator, because I just love art and architecture. But I felt like I could do more if I was a lawyer. I could help people, and I enjoy doing it. I'm still going to work every day. I love going. I like helping people put their lives back together when they've been devastated or obstructed by an injury or casualty. It's, you know, it's kind of a selfish thing, because it makes me feel good to help them get better and help put their lives back together.
Because you get personally involved, not just in the cases, but you tend to make friends with a lot of your clients and keep in touch with them for years.
I get a lot of referrals back from people that I've handled cases from. And I handle every single case that comes to the office. I work on every one of them.
So if someone calls Walker, Texas lawyer, they can talk to you?
They'll get me on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't make excuses. We don't lie to the clients to say he's gone to T.He. If I'm there, I'll talk to you. So, and it's become a kind of a family thing, actually. I mean, I know 25, 30, some odd thousand clients is a lot of clients, but you still feel close, and nothing's better than giving them a check and saying, hey, go make life better for yourself.
Because you've seen some of the most, and we'll spare our audience any of the details, but you've seen some of the most horrible accidents. And
absolutely.
Sometimes these processes can go on for years, and you hold these clients close to you, and you talk to them every single day.
Well, and the worst again are the motorcycle cases.
Yeah.
And that's why I say again, Walker, Texas lawyer, don't ride without him, because a lot of times I work on those cases and I forget to get paid because the injuries are so devastating. And if I get a big, any kind of a chunk out of it, there's nothing left because you still have to pay the bills. So, nobody wants to work for free, but sometimes the injuries are so severe and the money is so slim, you just do what you got to do.
And by forgetting to get paid, you mean you're looking out for your client's best interest?
They need it more than I do.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are hurt, and I've seen some pretty sad cases, and it hurts to see somebody's life torn apart like that.
But as you said, when you get through the end of the case, you do your battles, you talk to the insurance companies, you file the lawsuits, whatever it is you have to do. When you get to hand them their check, it's not just handing them money, it's handing them a piece of their life back and dignity and a way to start over again in some ways.
A chance at some more future.
Yeah.
A better future. And you get to watch the recovery as it goes along, because we get medical records and reports as the case goes along. And it feels good to watch them recuperate and get back on their feet and get going again. And then they get a little compensation for it as well. It makes my day.
Is that what's kept you going for these 45 plus years in Houston?
I told you I love going to work. I still do.
Yeah.
You know?
And kind of going onto more of a personal injury level, you know, when someone hires you, sometimes people, I think, get into these accidents and they think, oh, you know, I can handle this on my own. You know, I'm gonna just try to deal with the insurance on my own. But why is it so important in cases where you're injured in a motor vehicle accident, but also if you're injured, you know, in a job situation or at a store,
we
wherever?
handle a lot of various cases. I mean, explosions and that type of thing.
Plant explosions, but products liability.
Insurance companies are big, and they have a huge bankroll for a reason. And if you think for 1 minute that you can deal with them without me, you're sadly mistaken. Don't try to do this on your own. That's what they want you to do. They want you to say, oh, yeah, we'll take care of you. And when it's too late to change your mind, it's over. So, you know, the reason they're so big and the reason that they're the largest bankroll in the world is because they make money selling insurance and they lose money paying claims. So no claims, keep the money. That's what they do.
Well, I've heard even insurance companies do something that they call the swoop and settle. Like before a client even has the opportunity to reach out to your office, they try to offer them some money real quick so that they can maybe, you know, lessen the burden that they would have to pay out.
Because they know that the case is probably worth a lot more than they're going to offer you. But if you take the bait, it's too late.
And then you don't have a claim anymore, and you could have more devastating injuries. That's why it's always important to call, not just any attorney, but to call James Walker at Walker Texas Lawyer. Mr. Walker, if somebody, God forbid, is in an accident where they are injured, whether that's motor vehicle, a products liability, a premise liability case, you know, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, they can call me at 713-552-1117 or go to my Walker Texas Lawyer website. I'm very easy to find.
And you're a man amongst town. You've definitely sponsored so many events. You've given out scholarships to high school students. You've given out scholarships to professional athletes who are trying to aspire to greatness.
Right.
You've done a lot.
We have Walker Texas Lawyer Arena
in Texas City, the home of Booker T's Reality of Wrestling.
Yeah,
absolutely. So you are very involved in the community, and that's why somebody who's been here for 45 years, you need to trust him. And if you've been involved in any type of accident, call James Walker at Walker Texas Lawyer. Mr. Walker, it's been a pleasure. Any final thoughts?
Why would you call anyone else?
I think so eloquently said. It all wraps it up right there. That is James Walker. My name is Brad Gilmore. This has been Legally Speaking, and we appreciate you tuning in.
Hello, Houston. These are your friends at Walker Texas Lawyer. Now we are in hurricane season, and it's crucial to be prepared and know how to protect yourself and your property. Today, we'll share some essential tips on how to keep you safe and manage any potential damages. First and foremost, preparation is key. Make sure you have an emergency kit ready. This should include water, non-perishable foods, medications, flashlights, batteries, and more. Don't forget essentials for pets and any specific needs for family members. Protect your home by installing storm shutters or boarding up windows with plywood. Secure any outdoor furniture and remove any loose items that could become projectiles. Consider reinforcing your garage doors as well. Be sure to have a clear evacuation plan. Know your evacuation routes and have a plan for where you will stay if you need to leave your home. Share this plan with your family so everyone knows what to do. Consider investing in a generator for backup power. This can be crucial for keeping essential appliances running and maintaining communication during a power outage. Now let's talk about what to do if your home is damaged during a hurricane. As soon as it is safe, contact your homeowner's insurance policy to report the damage. Take detailed photos and videos of damage before you begin any cleanup or repairs. Keep records of all communication with your insurance company and contractors. Save receipts for any temporary repairs or accommodations if you have to leave your home. Stay safe, Houston. For more information or assistance, visit us on our website at walkertexaslawyer.com or give us a call at 713-552-1117. Together, we can weather any storm.